Cool. Okay, so welcome guys to Black Friday University. My name's Aubrey Catelco. I'm a content marketer here at Bold. With me, I have Mike Two Scoops Tracolo. You may know him from our Two Scoops series. He runs our School of Commerce webinar series as well. So I'll give you a quick intro and kind of a rundown on how this is going to work. For starters, if you're watching us on Crowdcast, you can change the quality in the bottom right corner of the screen. If it gets fuzzy or anything there, you can do that. We also want to encourage you guys to chat along with us. So if you have any questions as the webinar goes through, you can ask those questions on the chat panel on the right-hand side of your screen, and you'll be able to interact with us live. We'll do our best to answer those as we go. This series is really to help prepare you for Black Friday. So if this is your first year as an e-commerce store owner, Black Friday is like the Super Bowl of the year. So last year, to give you a quick stat, merchants on Black Friday on Shopify were processing about $550,000 a minute. That's not per merchant, that's every merchant on Shopify. But that kind of gives you an idea of how much traffic your store can get on Black Friday. And so part of being prepared for that is to make sure that you've planned ahead. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today and through this whole Black Friday University series.
And if you think about it, if this is the Super Bowl or the grandstand of e-commerce, if you're preparing for the Super Bowl or a marathon or anything like that, you're not just going to dive into it the night before or the week before and expect to have good results. The teams that do the best and perform the best are the ones that plan, and they have everything in order for that big game. So that way they've got everything set up, they know what they're going to be doing, they've got all the check boxes ticked off, and then they're just going to ready to have a great game. So I think that's one of the main things that we're going to be focusing on today, is really just giving you the info that you need to start prepping, so that way you are ready for the biggest e-commerce sales day of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And so to kind of touch on the series just a little bit more, and then we'll get into today's content. So we're going to run these every couple weeks until the end of October, and then every week starting in November. So leading up to Black Friday, we'll have a ton of sessions from how to do social media, how to do email marketing. We'll be talking to merchants who had stores on Shopify last year on Black Friday, and we'll talk with them. What kind of lessons did they learn? What tips and tricks do they have for you guys? So, we know a fair bit about e-commerce, but these are actual merchants that we'll be talking to and interviewing live on air. You can ask them questions, get their take on things. So we're going to keep these around half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll also let you know just before we get started, we have a new promotion starting today. It's only running for the next 3 days. You can get any of our apps free for 90 days, which will take you all the way through to the new year. So that will cover Black Friday and the Christmas shopping season. You can click the link below this video. It says free apps for the holidays. It's a little green button there. If you click that, you'll be taken to a page that lists all of our apps. You can get those free for 3 months. We'll be talking about a couple of them during this live stream. Again, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer, okay? So with that said, I think we'll get started. As we mentioned, Black Friday is 5 weeks away, so that's a little over a month, obviously. An interesting fact is consumers spent $3.3 billion on Black Friday last year. It is by far the biggest shopping day of the year. And it's actually 4 days. It happens on Black Friday, which is November 24th, and then Saturday and Sunday slow down a bit, and then Cyber Monday happens on the Monday as well, which is the 27th. And so you really want to make sure that you're ready for that whole weekend, because if you're not, you're missing out on a ton of sales opportunities that you can really take advantage of and get a really good boost going into the holiday shopping season.
And that being said, at this point in time, there's plenty of time to prepare with this new promotion where we're giving you any free app to use, any of our apps. We'll be giving you sales ideas. We'll be helping you through returns policy, making it easy for your customers to not only buy more. You can set them up for success, so that way they can return. You know what I mean? We're just going to give you what you need. But that being said, the first thing that you really need to do, just as we're doing right now, is we're planning it out. So even before you come up with any sales ideas or any marketing of that, you really need to take a look at your own store. See what items you want to sell. Check out your inventory, make sure that your store is up to snuff, and a few of those little things before you kind of start to get the wheels turning.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the first piece of advice that we might have, if this is your first Black Friday, is to plan out your sales and your promotions using a calendar. So just find a calendar, get it from the store. You can use an online one as well. I don't know why I'm telling you how to use a calendar. You can figure it out, but use that calendar and and plan out exactly which days you're going to run promotions or run sales. You want to get your customers hyped before Black Friday, and then as well during Black Friday. So for example, you might plan on this calendar at 3 a.m. on Black Friday. I want to send out a blast on Facebook to all my followers, or I want to run an ad that runs from 8 to 11 a.m. on Black Friday so that I can let all my customers know that they should come later in the day and make purchases from my store. You only have 4 days to make this happen. So Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you can get it all planned out beforehand, that's going to really help you execute when it comes time for this Super Bowl that is Black Friday. So that's our first piece of advice: is get a content calendar going. Make that calendar almost hour by hour.
Absolutely.
Over the Black Friday weekend, and then even the week before. You want to start planning out what kinds of teasers are you going to give your customers. Are you going to put things on Facebook or Twitter? Are you going to send out emails? How are you going to get these customers to stick around after Black Friday? We've got to find some way to make them loyal customers. So all this stuff is good content that you can put in a calendar.
And the more you're prepared, and the more information you have on your content calendar, such as sales ideas, what days they're going to run, what you're going to be posting on your social media, email marketing campaigns that you're going to be running. We'll talk a little bit more about this as this lesson goes on. But that being said, put everything on your calendar so that way you just take all the guesswork out. There's going to be so much happening. There's going to be so much going on the actual days of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You just want to have all your ducks in a row, and if you have it all planned out and scheduled to go, just as we're talking about right now, having it all planned out, you're going to be so far ahead of the game. It's going to be really great for you.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll talk about a couple different topics that you can include in your plan. Now, these are things like marketing plans, but also sales planning and planning other aspects of Black Friday. For example, you want to make sure you have enough inventory. You want to make sure that your social media is all ready to go. So we'll be touching on a whole bunch of that stuff throughout the session. So I think we'll start off with marketing, Mike.
Sure.
This is kind of our wheelhouse. We both work on our marketing team at Bold. I think one of the biggest things that Black Friday is known for is sales, right?
Yes.
That's why everybody is lining up at 5 a.m., crashing the doors of Best Buy and wherever, is because they want the discounts. So what are some easy ways to do that on an e-commerce store?
Sure, Aubrey. Now, when I think about Black Friday, I think about, even when it comes to marketing in general, you always want to get that low-hanging fruit, like the least amount of work that you need to do in order to get the biggest impact. So there's 3 sales ideas that I think are the staples, especially regardless of if you have an e-commerce store or around Black Friday. Flash sales and daily deals, the ability to have upsells and cross-sells, and the ability to bundle your products, so that way some people can spend a little bit more. So let's talk about the first one, flash sales and daily deals. That would involve our product discount app. And flash sales and daily deals, I've seen these tons and tons, especially through email marketing, regardless if it's Black Friday or not. There are these sales that are saying, take 25% off the entire store, or take 25% off or 30% off this specific collection. So you can incorporate that into your store or into your email marketing. But these are giving you the abilities to run those sales.
Yeah, for sure. And the great part about flash sales, or really any kind of timed sale, is that it gives the customer urgency. So when they see a piece of content from you, like an email that says our fidget cubes are 25% off, they have to make a decision in their head that says, okay, am I going to buy this? How much time do I have to make this decision? When we give them a time limit, like during a flash sale, and we say you only have 2 hours left to take advantage of this, so it's either take it or leave it. If the sale and the offer is good enough, the customer is going to take it. So the great part about flash sales, making sure that the decision is made right away and they don't have time to talk themselves out of it, for example. So those are a really good one, and they're super easy to run on Shopify using our product discount app. The app will time those sales for you. They'll automatically discount the products and then switch them back when the sale's over.
And I think one thing really important to mention too is that it can all be automated. You can set up these sales to turn off or turn on whenever that may be, so that way you can have more time to run your store and not have to worry about getting up at 3 in the morning to turn that sale on and then turn it off. So it gives you the freedom to automate your store a little bit, and I think it's one of the classics, just a discount sale.
Yeah, for sure. Customers expect this, right? They go into a Walmart, for example, and they'll hear over the loudspeaker, we have a flash sale on beach balls that they're selling around Christmas time, I guess. And then customers run over there. So the closer that we can make this to kind of the brick and mortar shopping experience, I think the more successful store owners are going to be.
Yeah, and speaking of the brick and mortar shopping experience, I think one of the second most popular, if not it is equal to the flash sale or the daily deal or anything like that, is the ability to upsell or cross-sell your products. Now, this is when a customer makes a purchase and you try to get them to buy a little bit more, either buying a bigger or a better or an upgraded version of your product by upselling them, or selling them a complementary product, something that's going to go well with it. If you're selling T-shirts, maybe sell a hat. If you're selling a coffee or a food product, maybe sell something that goes along with that, a plate or a dish or a bowl. Just something that adds a little bit more to the sale, but also it complements the product nicely as well.
Yeah, for sure. Upsells and cross-sells, they're like the oldest selling technique in the book. I mean, that's been happening definitely since I remember shopping for the first time. That wasn't too long ago, but it's been happening for ages. So this is something that was previously really difficult to do on Shopify or any e-commerce system, really. There's a lot of companies that have gotten really good at it. If you've ever ordered something as a business owner from Vistaprint, for example, Vistaprint is like the master of the upsell. So you add something to your cart and then they say, for example, I added maybe a pack of business cards. And what Vistaprint will do is they'll show me an offer before I check out, and they'll say, you can add a notebook with your logo on it for an extra $5, and that's it. And I say, well, I'm already spending $25. I may as well spend the extra $5, get a notebook while it's here. The great part about this is they give discounts when they do those upsells and cross-sells. So if they're cross-selling that notebook, it might normally sell for $10, but they offer it to me at $5, and so I think, wow, I'm getting a great deal. And again, that urgency is there. I can only get it now if I place this with my business cards. So I'm more inclined to do it. We have a really cool app on Shopify. It's called Product Upsell. It's actually one of the first apps that was on the Shopify App Store and what kind of got us started as a company. Upsell is definitely the most popular upsell app on Shopify, I would say. It lets you do all this stuff. It lets you run things like upsells where, for example, if I was in McDonald's and I said I wanted a medium fries, Upsell will offer me a large fries instead. If I was at a shoe store and I bought a pair of leather shoes, I would get offered some leather cleaner. That's a cross-sell. And the other cool thing it can do is BOGOs, which is something that's kind of difficult to do technically on Shopify, but the app makes it super easy to do. So if I buy a product at full price, I might get sold that product at half price if I buy two in one go. So I'm buying one, getting one free. It's another super common sale idea.
And it's just a really easy way for you to increase your average order value. If you didn't have these apps on your store, your customers would have no ability to do that. So even just by installing these apps, trying them out, playing around with these sale ideas, I think that's one thing that's really important to mention right now. Start testing out these sales. Start installing these apps and playing around with it. So that way when it does come down to Black Friday or Cyber Monday, you're ready to go. You know how the apps works. Maybe, if there is a kink or something to do with customization, something's not working with your theme, you have the time now to make those adjustments or reach out to our support team and get that help on there. So we really encourage you to start playing around with these sales, see how the apps look on your store. So that way, when it does come down to it, you're ready to go for the big day.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we can't stress this enough. This is what this whole series is about, is getting prepared for Black Friday. Our support team is super, super willing to help you get started no matter how early you want to get ready. The closer you leave it to Black Friday, the more likely you are to kind of run into hiccups, right? And we don't want that. We want this to be the best executed Black Friday you've ever done, especially if it's your first one. So yeah, get that stuff prepared early. If you have any questions about that, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help. Even if you want just some sales ideas, our team can send you stuff on that. They're really good at looking at stores and being able to find maybe some good ideas for products that will move well.
Sure.
I'll just touch on something just because someone mentioned it in the chat. If you're running into any video issues whatsoever, just refresh the page, or you can press the quality button, which is the gear in the bottom right corner of the screen. As well, if your internet's cutting out or anything, all these sessions are recorded and you'll be emailed afterwards with a link to watch the session again on demand. And usually we do a couple call outs as to when things happen in the session, so you don't have to watch the entire thing. We know you guys are busy and just want to make sure you're kept up to speed.
Sure.
So I think the next kind of sales idea we'll talk about is something that is really easily accomplished with our Sales Motivator app. So Sales Motivator is this super cool thing. You've seen it on a bunch of websites. Best Buy does this really well. I've had it on Amazon as well, where if you add a product to your cart, you see a little banner at the top of the screen, and that banner says, you're only $10 away from reaching free shipping.
Yeah.
So I added a $25 product to my cart. I need to spend $35 to get free shipping, but I might not know that as a customer. So these banners show at the top of the screen, and they let me know I've only got $10 left to go to reach that goal. So that's another app of ours that I think can really, really help store owners on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because if you set a threshold, then customers are going to see that banner and they're going to spend more. So that'll increase your average order value.
And what's really cool about Sales Motivator 2 is you can run multiple motivator messages at the same time, which I think is the one of the main differences between other sales motivator apps on Shopify. Rather than just saying, spend $50 and get free shipping, or spend $150 and get a free gift. What happens is every time a customer adds a new item to their cart, the motivator message will change and update to how much more they need to spend. So rather than just say, you have $50 for free shipping, it'll change the amount every single time based upon the items that you're putting in your cart. And seeing as how you can run multiple motivator messages, one of the big draws I think for Black Friday specifically is free shipping. And then since it's around the holiday time, gift wrapping, and these are also ways that you can essentially upsell your customers while promoting other sales that you do have. So it's a very versatile app, and it's gonna do very well for you during the Black Friday season.
Yeah, for sure. So I saw we got a question. I'd like to hire a bold guru to properly set up everything for my store. Is that possible? Yeah, for sure. So if you need app support, for example, so you need help setting up our product discount or our product upsell app, we have a client success team. They can be reached at support@boldcommerce.com. I'll put the email address in the chat, and just shoot them an email, let them know what you're trying to do. They'll be more than happy to set that up for you. Any issues you have, they can definitely help out. Even if you just have sale ideas, I think I would encourage that as well. If store owners just have an idea of, hey, I want to run this kind of sale, but I don't know what apps I need to use to make that happen, reach out to our team. We'll let you know. They're very well versed in e-commerce and how to have things run on Shopify. So another few questions here. If we download the apps, are the apps we already have free for the 90 days? So this offer applies to apps that are newly installed from the Shopify App Store. So if you already have an app, that won't be activated free for 90 days. It's only new apps that you're installing from there. What was the name of the banner app? That is our Sales Motivator app. I'll put a link to that in the chat right now. There you are. Can you use a number of products as the threshold for free shipping versus a dollar amount? So right now the way Sales Motivator works is it looks at the total value of the cart and it determines how far away the customer is from that shipping range. So you can't do it by the number of products that they have right now. What you can do is if you know that most of the products on your store are a certain value, for example, I have a whole bunch of products that are around $4 or $5, I know that if a customer spends $15, they've probably checked out with 3 or 4 of those products. So that's usually the way we recommend that merchants get around that. Right now it's just by dollar value. Do you have a manual or training in the upsell? Because I try to install it in my store, but it works slow and I need to understand it better. So we do have a help center available. You can go online. I'll post the link to that shortly. But again, I would recommend reaching out to our client success team. They're super good. They usually answer within about a day or so with any questions you might have. If you're looking to do something specific or even just need some help getting started, they can give you a call. They can walk you through it over email. You can live chat with them. There's a ton of different ways to get in contact with them.
So we've been talking a little bit about some sale ideas. We've talked about prepping your store, kind of getting ready. And I think one of the things that sometimes gets left out, I mean, there's a lot of people who are new to e-commerce, but then there's also some people who've been around for a while. They've got a decent amount of sales going through, and it's to making sure that your store can handle the increased traffic that you're going to get. We're saying it's going to be the busiest day of the year. We've said how much money people can make and have made, and the fact, it just goes down to the fact that you need to be aware that you're going to be getting more traffic. That might mean that you have to keep an eye on inventory. It just might mean that your store can handle that traffic. And we've definitely got ways that can help. I know our managed services department, it's great in that. But just making sure that your store can handle the increased traffic, whether that's having the proper amount of inventory or, just that your store is set up and ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. So Shopify is really, really good. They run stores for some Fortune 500 companies. They are just about completely ready from the technical side of it. So your concern isn't really whether your store's servers can handle the traffic. It's whether your store and your people can handle the traffic. So, for example, some things to think about are if you're sale planning, add a buffer zone to how much inventory you're stocking. So if I think I'm going to sell 100 pairs of socks on Black Friday, I might want to stock 120 to make sure that I'm ready,
Yep.
even if my forecast is wrong. You got to be careful here because you don't want to order too much, but as well, you don't want to run into the other situation, which is, I think, worse, where you know, sell out of your inventory by 12 p.m. on Black Friday and then you're done for the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure that that inventory is planned out, is in stock for you. Work with your distributors, work with wholesalers. Think about things like packaging. Do you have enough packaging to be able to ship all these products after Black Friday? Do you have enough paper for your label maker to print off those shipping labels? Do you have enough staff on hand? Even if it's just you, maybe you need to find a friend to help you ship your products, or bring some staff in on the weekend.
Sure, that's a good idea.
You can pay them in beer. I would take beer if I, was told that I just had to throw a few products in boxes. So
Sure.
definitely some ideas there. Think about all these things that your store uses on a daily basis. So again, shipping labels, packaging, products, all this stuff. Just make sure you have extra of it for Black Friday. There's no real way to know, I need exactly 15% more, because every store's traffic is different. Your store might blow up. It might have less of an increase than that, but think about these kinds of things. Make sure you're Black Friday ready.
So we've talked a bit about some sales ideas and whatnot, and how to plan and how to prep for that. One piece of advice, or at least a pro tip that I would suggest, start kind of gathering some creative material, maybe some creative assets that you can promote whatever you would decide to promote on your store. So whether that's a banner or some high quality images for your social media or for your email marketing, these are going to go a really long way of easily explaining to people what you have coming up the pipeline, especially for social media and email and your website. You can use the same creative assets on different platforms, and that gives sort of the what's the word I'm looking for? That feeling when everything is consistent and everybody's aware of what's going on. So this doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg too. I recently started a Shopify store of my own and have maybe 0 to 5% of graphic design background. So I went on Fiverr and I just did a quick Fiverr search and I looked up a logo. And then it was that easy to ask somebody for $5 to design me a logo. So there's definitely ways that you can get Facebook ads or banners made or anything like that that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. It's just a matter of either finding those free resources or just finding a creative way where you don't have to hire an in-house graphic designer or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm on the same boat as you, Mike. My graphic design skills are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the same thing. I opened up a store a few months ago, and I went on Fiverr. I found a guy that I liked that said he would do a logo for me. I think it cost $10, and I got logos in 2 different colors. He reviewed it for me, and I sent him back some changes. He made those changes for me. He gave me some transparencies. He gave me a couple social banners, like tons of good stuff, and they'll resize the images for you. So take a look around on Fiverr. If you have an idea of kind of what you want designed, then I'm sure that there's somebody on Fiverr that can help you out. Work with those guys. They're super good.
And it's definitely worth putting in a little bit of time or a little bit of effort just to get some nice creative assets, because it's so easy to repurpose these and to market all of your sales ideas. We've mentioned a few sales ideas before, but it's one thing to have a sale. It's also equally as important to let your customers know that you are having these sales. So 2 things that I think we should talk a little bit about. Number 1, email marketing, and number 2, social media. You can take the same creative assets that you do have and repurpose these items so that way people have the same look and the same consistent feel, and they also know what's going on in your store. So number 1, we talked a little bit about how you're prepping your store. You should also prep your customers as to what's coming. They already know Black Friday's coming. They know that there's going to be sales. It's a good idea if you can get ahead of this and start to build the buzz right now. So maybe setting up some Facebook advertisements or some email marketing where you're giving your customers a really good idea of what's coming down the pipeline. There's usually going to be a really big door crasher sale, or maybe a small window of a flash sale where you're going to have a number of percent off of your items or anything like that. But giving your customers an idea of what's going to be going on sale, when they should be, ready to take a look, and other things like that, especially with email marketing.
Yeah, for sure. And the great part about email marketing is that there are so many tools available for it. MailChimp, Klaviyo, Drip. All of these allow you to do scheduling.
Yes.
So that's my favorite part of them. If I can plan ahead of something and get ready for it, I can write those emails now and just schedule them to go out on Black Friday, and MailChimp will handle the rest. Klaviyo will handle the rest. So I would really recommend getting those written ahead of time, planning out in your minds using that content calendar we talked about earlier. When are these emails going to be sent? How many am I going to send? Am I sending too many? Sometimes you want to make sure that each of your messages are very targeted and that the person who's receiving it finds it timely and that it's useful to them. So they really help you schedule these things, get them ready so that, again, you can automate it and not have to worry about it when the weekend actually hits.
Sure. And regardless if these are new customers or prospect customers or returning customers, there's 3 emails, specifically automated emails, that if you're not sending, I recommend setting them up as soon as this live stream is done. And those ones are the welcome email, first purchase email, and the abandoned cart email. And these are all automated emails that you're able to set up through any of the email platforms that Aubrey just mentioned. And what that means is these emails will be sent out based off of a trigger or an action, something that happens on your store. So the welcome email, I would recommend anytime you get a new email address, whether that's somebody signing up for your store, maybe you have a pop-up set up, send them out an email welcoming them to your store. It's almost welcoming them to the family. You're saying, hey, thanks for joining us. Here's what we're all about. Maybe show them some recommended products. Maybe even offer them a discount just to say thanks for signing up. So that way, they know who you are, they know what to expect, they have a kind of a good idea of some of the products that you do sell and some of the emails that might be coming down the pipeline, and it's all automated. Once they sign up, they're in the email pipeline, so you can later then either retarget them or send them another email. The other email is the first purchase email. So I've seen this one work time and time again. So your customer makes a first purchase, you send them another email thanking them for making that purchase, and you either then recommend products that are going to go well with that, or maybe offer them an incentive to make a second purchase. So that way you have them in the pipeline, they make the purchase, you give them an opportunity to maybe make another purchase, or maybe give them a coupon code, and that way they're just going to say, okay, well, this is great, I like the product, I like it a lot, now I have an opportunity to get a discount the next time I make a purchase, bingo bango, I might make a purchase right now. So that's really great too.
For sure, yeah. We talk a lot about there's kind of 2 different things we can do. We can acquire customers and we can nurture existing ones. And email marketing is really good for nurturing those existing ones. So we have a customer, we know they're a customer of ours, they've made a purchase from us. Now what we need to do is we need to nurture them. So we need to connect them with our brand. We need to help them make more purchases. We need to help them kind of remember us a couple of months down the road, see how they're liking their purchase. Do they want to leave us a review? Do they want to find out about this new sale we have going on? So emails are really good for doing that customer nurturing for sure.
Definitely. And the last email that I just wanted to mention too, I think it's one of the most popular emails, at least anyways, is the abandoned cart email. So time and time again, you might be getting an email that says, oops, did you forget you left something in your cart? Or maybe a reminder saying, hey, there's still some items in your cart, make sure to check out. Did you forget something? Are you forgetting something? There's a bunch of tongue-in-cheek kind of ways that you can remind your customers that they have left items in the cart. That being said, sometimes people just forget, especially if you're Black Friday shopping, you're going from site to site, bouncing back and forth. If you do happen to leave a couple items in your cart, the abandoned cart email is a great way to remind that customer that their items are waiting for them. And it's a really great incentive to just bring them back to your store so that way you don't lose out on those sales. There's over $4 trillion worth of sales left on the table every day just based off of people leaving items in their cart. So if you can just slightly encourage somebody about the items that they do have in their cart, provide them incentive, just remind them either way, it's that recurring income that you're going to get based off of people just leaving items in their cart.
Yeah, for sure. forget how long ago we did this blog post. It was maybe a few weeks ago, but we talked about how some ridiculously high number, it's like 85 or 90% of carts that are made in e-commerce wind up being abandoned. So if you send out an abandoned cart email to every single one of those customers, even if you only got 10% of them to actually click on your email and buy something from your store, that's still a huge increase in sales. Like that's 90% of people who are going away, and then you can get 10% of those people back. So that's definitely a big boost. I'll just answer a couple questions from the chat that I see here. So let's see. Should mention Soundest has most of the features of Klaviyo at a lower price. We haven't used Soundest, but it is spelt just as Michael spelt it in the chat there, so you can definitely check that out. We haven't played around with it, but looks like it's been successful. In your opinion, with all of your experience, what is the number one best way to roll out a campaign? Is it through email blast like MailChimp, or a Facebook campaign, or a combination of specific things?
It's definitely a combo of a few specific things. And that being said, I think that's where retargeting comes into play too. We've got a whole episode based off of that coming about retargeting. But retargeting is essentially when a customer comes to your website, or maybe a customer visits a certain page or views a certain product, you then have them in your database and can send out some marketing collateral that way. So let's say you're running a sale in general. You've got your 20% off flash sale happening on Black Friday. How I would set that up is maybe 2, 3, even 4 weeks ahead, send out an email reminding people that you are having this sale. It's going to be coming up. What you can also then do is reach out to people on social media. You can just maybe make a post, or you can create an ad or something along that. Then closer to the day, send out another email reminding them. And then when it comes down to the actual sale day, that's when you can really take advantage of some of this automation. You can send them an email. I know that I always click on those ones usually where it says 1 hour to go or anything like that, so that way you can set that up. But email marketing and social media, they all work hand in hand, especially when it comes to drilling it down a campaign.
Yeah, for sure. So to just build on what Mike said, I agree. Like email marketing is really good for leading up to the sale and then during. Social media, I would recommend that you kind of do that social on the day of. So for example, if I'm running a flash sale at 2 p.m. today, I probably want to start running social ads and boosting that on social the morning of. Just because customers who are on social are looking to take actions right now, right? And if I read something on Facebook, I might forget about it in 10 minutes. If it's sitting in my email inbox, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to remember that I saw it. So social media is really good for kind of in the moment. Email marketing leading up to and in the moment, also very good there. And
we mentioned a little bit about just coming up with those creative assets that you can use to repurpose that content.
For sure.
This is exactly where that comes into play. You could have one piece of creative that says exactly what the sale is about, when it's going to take place. You use that in your email marketing, and then you use that same image and you just resize it for your Facebook profile, so that way your header image is right there reminding people that way. So that way they go to your Facebook page, they see you've got that sale. They're getting the emails from you. Maybe it's coming down to it. You might run some ads reminding them about it. Retarget some people who've recently been to your website, so that way it's just top of mind and you're ready to get them to push that buy now button as soon as they can.
Yeah. Follow-up question from Diana. So if you tell your customers that a big sale is coming up, won't that have a chilling effect on any shopping to be done before that? Good insight. Like for sure, there's, if, for example, if Safeway tells me starting on Friday, carrots are going to be on sale, and today's Wednesday, well, I might wait till Friday to buy those carrots and make something with it. What we find is that the farther ahead you're doing this, the less of an effect it has. So if I send out an email saying in 3 weeks, get ready for our Black Friday deals, I won't notice a huge drop in sales. That won't be a really big deal. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend sending this out kind of 2 months in advance. I think customers will know to wait then. But to answer your question, yeah, you'll probably notice a teensy bit of a drip, but the reason that drop is happening, I should say, is because customers know that they're going to come back to your store. So in my eyes, I don't see that as a huge deal. If customers are kind of holding off shopping until the big day, ultimately they're going to be buying more on Black Friday. Like if you're having that chilling effect, that means your marketing's working. The customers are saying, yeah, I want to be part of this promotion. I'm going to come back to your store on Black Friday and buy some merchandise. So Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's a huge problem here.
No.
It's actually a benefit to you, I think, because it means your marketing's working.
And I mean, I've seen it done before. So I mean, if there's a case of worrying that you might be seeing a drop in sales, you can almost do a pre-Black Friday sale. You know what I mean? Like people, you're obviously setting them up for Black Friday, but by running a sale that's very similar to Black Friday, you could even position it that it's that pre-Black Friday sale. You know, get it before everybody else does to make sure that you have that. Providing that scarcity a little bit might be even a way to do it, but I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of creating awareness for the actual big day, because this is the day that people are expecting to shop. You're expecting them to shop, so I think you should be safe.
Yeah, for sure. Another question from Colleen. Colleen coming in with the questions today. Do you guys each also have a personal Facebook page as well as a business Facebook page? I have more friends on my personal Facebook page and less on my store page. Does it make sense to keep both? Is it confusing for friends to see ads and posts from both? Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have some thoughts on this. I'll share mine. I personally don't like sharing my business info on my personal Facebook page. And the reason for this is because my target audience aren't my friends and family who I have on Facebook. So I know that my friends and family probably aren't going to make too many purchases from my personal Facebook page just because they see an ad there. That could work for some businesses for sure. I'll give you kind of a micro example. If I was buying Girl Guide cookies, I would market that to my friends on Facebook through my personal Facebook page. Grey Cup tickets in Canada, the Grey Cup is like the Super Bowl here, so there's a lot of fundraisers that happen selling Grey Cup tickets. It's kind of like a lotto pool. So I would advertise those on my personal Facebook page. I tend to stay away from doing any business stuff on my personal page. The great part about the business page is that customers who see your posts on your business Facebook page or even see ads are who you're wanting to sell to, right? So you're not wasting your efforts trying to market to a whole bunch of people who won't buy your products. If they've liked or followed your page, they've told you, I'm interested in your stuff. Keep talking to me. And so those are the people that you kind of want to go after.
And I think one thing that I agree with Aubrey in the sense that I think you should keep them separate, but the fact that you have a lot of friends on your personal Facebook page, it would be, if they are your friends and they're interested in what you're doing, invite them to like your business page. So that way you're kind of having the best of the both worlds. Anybody who would actually be interested in supporting you or buying a product, they're probably going to want to like that page. If they're just your friend or your family, they might also not be interested in your business. Sure, they like to support you, they want to be a good friend, they want to encourage you. But that being said, invite them all to like your page. Who knows, you get 25, 50, 75% of those people coming on over. You're just going to be growing your business page that way, and you'll be able to keep those separately as well, because you wouldn't want to be that person who's just always selling something on their personal page. That's sort of, maybe you could talk about your business accomplishments or what's going on, but I definitely think it's wise to keep those worlds a little bit separated.
Yeah, for sure. Another question from Michael. Do you have any recommendations for a retargeting app? A company that we're partners with is Shoelace. So Shoelace is a really cool retargeting app. They call it retargeting on autopilot. It does a whole bunch of retargeting stuff. They will install in your store, and then they'll be able to market to your customers through Facebook or Google Display Network, a lot of different systems like that. So I would check into Shoelace. I'm trying to think of another one that might be good.
Well, there's Kit.
Kit, yeah, for sure. Kit is a good one. Kit has a free tier as well, which is really cool about it. So how Kit works, if you haven't used it before, is it will act as a virtual employee for you. So it looks for products that it thinks would be good candidates for retargeting, and it will ask you, do you want me to run a Facebook ad for this particular product? And so all you need to do is reply yes to Kit. Kit will set that up on Facebook. It will give it a budget, and then it will start running those ads automatically. So that's a really good free one as well. And it kind of uses some business intelligence stuff, because you don't have to decide which products you want to retarget, right? You can just say yes to Kit, and it will go from there.
These are awesome questions. So we haven't had a lot of questions like this in a while, but we appreciate the questions, because we're here just to give you the information that you need to be successful. So keep them coming. We're happy to answer them. We've talked a little bit about prepping your store, sales ideas, email marketing, social media. These are all active sort of ways to market your products and to prep your store. I think one thing that's really important that we should switch gears to a little bit is about creating a good returns policy. We have got an app called Returns Manager, and if used correctly, your returns policy can essentially be used as one of your greatest marketing assets. If customers know that there's a hassle-free way that they can return their items, if they know exactly which items are available to return, when they are, how to do it, it goes so far in the sense that if there's an easy, hassle-free return policy, you're going to get more business no matter what. And it's just a really great way to do that. And this all has to do with customer service. So customer service and having a great returns policy, I think, is very, very important, especially around Black Friday. And customer service, just being available. So whether that's, just banking off some time on your social media, or just making sure your inbox notifications are open and on loud. That way, if somebody has a question, you can get to them immediately. If you think about it this way, if somebody's shopping around for a product, let's say a TV or something like that, they're shopping around, they've got a question maybe about some specs. If they go to your social media and they say, hey, I've got a question about one of these specs, you answer that, you might have a sale right there. If they have a question about one of these specs and they go to your social media or they send you an email and you don't get back to them for 1, 2, 3, 12 hours, they're going to go to another store. So by being available, it's going to go a really, really long way with your customer support, and just being available to answer any questions your customers may have, I think, is something that's very, very valuable, especially when preparing your planning.
Yeah, for sure. Facebook's a great way to do this too. We talked about a business Facebook page a little earlier. Messenger and Facebook Messenger has come so far. You can set up kind of canned responses to customers if you find you're getting the same question over and over again. There are apps you can install which will be like chatbots on Messenger that can answer your customers automatically. It will send you notifications to your phone. It will help you track those customers so you know who has purchased what, and you can leave notes on those customers for
Sure.
other staff. You can share that Facebook page. You can invite other people to become admins. So if you have multiple people working on your business, maybe a marketing consultant or even just a friend that can help you out with answering some of those questions, it's super flexible and a super good way to help customers anywhere they are using Facebook Messenger. So we would definitely recommend that.
So I think those are all the notes that we had to hit today, talking about sales ideas, getting ready to prep, some of the apps that you can use, having a good returns policy, having good customer service. One more thing just to briefly mention is just to make sure that you have your analytics set up. So whether that's your Facebook pixel or maybe Google Analytics, just so that way, if this is your first Black Friday, you have some data to look at for next year or anything coming on like that. If you're an experienced e-commerce person, you probably have that already installed, but just keep an eye on that. Your data is your best friend when it comes to some of these things. You know who's shopping, you know when they're shopping, and just to keep that in mind. And if you'd like more information on that, we'll be providing that in a few of the live streams. And any of this information that we've glazed over, we'll be getting into the specifics, so that way we'll it won't just be the broad strokes today. It'll be really in-depth information that will ultimately help you out.
Yeah, for sure. We wanted the topic of today to be planning for Black Friday, and I think we touched on a lot of that. Sales ideas, customer service, making sure you have enough inventory, email marketing, social media, a lot of this stuff. So again, we're going to be going into those in future weeks. Like I said at the beginning of the webinar, we are doing, I think, one more in October right at the end of the month, and then we'll be doing them every week during November. I'll link you guys in the chat to a schedule, but be sure to keep an eye out for those emails. We're going to be talking about things like more in-depth social media, how to do email marketing, how to run all these sales, how to use a few of our apps to help run this kind of stuff. If you guys have any ideas for topics or suggestions of things you want to learn about, please leave them in the chat. We're super flexible. We will find whoever you want to talk to, and we'll sort things out from there. We want this to be as educational for you guys, and like I said, our success for us means that you guys have a really successful Black Friday. So be sure to keep us posted. Leave messages in the chat. If you have any questions, you can leave them there as well, and we'll be able to reply to them through the chat as well.
I'm just taking a look at some of these comments right now, and the feedback you guys are giving is really nice. It's so nice to see that this is helpful. So, shout out to everybody: Michael, Alexandra, Diana, Colleen, Sabrina. we love that we can chat with you and engage with you. We see that you guys are all chatting too, and that's really awesome. You know, if somebody has a question and you think that you can help them, go on and do that as well. You know, we're trying to empower you guys. We're trying to make sure that everybody is just helping each other out. Everybody's after the same pie. We just want to make sure that everybody gets a bigger piece. So thank you very much for these awesome comments. And definitely stay tuned. Make sure to check your emails because we've got a lot of awesome content that's going to be coming up. Black Friday is 5 weeks away, so you know what? There's just enough time to prepare, and we look forward to keeping going on. But this was the kickoff of Black Friday University, and we hope you guys enjoyed it.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.